Hey everyone, today I want to speak about a new plan for Gardai Síochána. This was unveiled a number of days ago in the Phoenix Park, where they spoke of transforming Gardai Síochána. This is a plan that was fermented back in 2018, and it's about a policing service for the future. Now this was launched with much fanfare with the media in attendance as well, and what they were publicising was a new armoured division, essentially. The Gardai launched their new water cannons, 2 new water cannons purchased at the cost of €400,000 each, I believe. And of course they're looking at moving towards more body armour, shields for the new public order units, and also body cameras, and moving away from handwritten reports towards digital reports, online reports. But again, water cannons, here we go again. Do you remember a couple of years ago during the Coolock demonstrations, where there was a massive political backlash because of the demonstrations that were taking place in Coolock? And of course people like Intimidatory came out and said that there should be battle ready in terms of the authorities to tackle any protest movement. At the same time, we've seen people like Intimidatory pushing the government's narrative. Of course, a fully signed up member of the establishment was recently on the junket with Micheál Martin in Nice, signing up to the new EU Ocean Treaty, another pact for the globalists. Now he is looking to tackle essentially the working classes and to keep them down. So yeah, no more money for real community policing by consent. No issues in terms of recruitment and the retention disaster in Gardai Síochána with so many people leaving. And at the same time, we see massive issues up and down the country in terms of Garda stations. Many Garda stations have closed, and many properties are empty all around the country and now looking to be sold by the Office of Public Works. But of course, this is really fundamentally trying to keep the people down and tackle people in terms of protest movements as well. And it's really a sinister development if you look at how they launched this event. And they launched it like with all their regalia and body armour in tow as well. And it wasn't about delivering proper community policing in terms of policing by consent, not by force. Now, of course, the intimidatory tactics aren't nothing new to the recent history of Gardai Síochána. And of course, the majority of members of Gardai have no confidence in their own commissioner, who's due to leave the post in a number of weeks, if not months. Now, at the same time, we've seen the absolute catastrophe taking place in Ireland in terms of recently with the tragedy that took place in Carlow. Now, it's come to light following an Oireachtas committee hearing that this was done under the remit of Gardai Síochána in terms of delivering weapons to the man who took his own life in Carlow at that horrific tragedy that took place, attack that took place in Carlow a number of weeks ago. A part of their own plans. Now this is absolutely remarkable in terms of passing on the arms to as a form of a honey trap event in terms of capturing this person. And of course he was then bailed by the consent of Gardai Síochána in terms of this. It's due before the court in a number of weeks, but went out and carried out those acts on a Sunday bank holiday evening in Carlow a number of weeks ago. Of course the Gardai were the ones who consented to the bail being given as well. So just remarkable how this isn't just been dealt with further, I don't know. And then on top of that, we've seen the issues with the international protection centres, with the Gardai going on recruitment missions into the international protection centres. Fundamentally, this is just off the wall stuff going on in Ireland. It's absolutely off the wall. Going into international protection centres, many that haven't claimed or even been received international protection. At the same time, looking for anybody to join the Gardai Síochána at the moment because of the poor pay and conditions as well. And of course it's easier for the state to push through their agenda on ordinary people when you have a lot of people with no attachment to areas or communities and bring in outside forces to keep the general population and communities down in their history. But the history go back to the Dublin Metropolitan Police in terms of the lockout in 1913. We saw the horrific events well over 100 years ago because members of, or people who worked with the Dublin Tramways Company and worked with other sources in Ireland and Dublin wanted to get unionised and wanted to join a union led by Larkin and Connolly. Now, of course, this was against the wishes of the big employer at the time, who was William Martin Murphy and his friends. And Martin Murphy himself was depicted as the vulture of Dartry Hall because of his disgraceful treatment of a lot of workers. Many worked 14, 15-hour days, and many as well, their jobs were reliant on their housing as well, so they were really captured by their employer. It's a lot of the same stuff is happening today in terms of the attack on workers' rights across Ireland, and in terms of the use by force by the Metropolitan Police on many who were out protesting on Bloody Sunday in August 31st in 1913, where 2 were killed and many, many, many more were badly injured and beaten off the streets, led to the start of the Irish Citizens' Army for the workers to stand up and defend themselves against the brutality of the police force as well. But again, this is what's taking place in Irish society now as well. We see the police force essentially an arm of the state, and to uphold the ruling class's interest in Irish society as well. And this show of force by the Gardai yesterday in terms of the water cannons, this is the same time where they can't even claim they can't afford to buy a cadaver dog, for instance, in terms of searching for dead bodies. We all know about the recent events in Ireland as well with the Gardai. Just farcical stuff that took place in terms of the location of bodies, most recently with the murder in Cork, where there was a trial recently held in Dublin. Now, of course, we've seen really lack of investment in, as I said, community policing and investment in keeping our communities safe. At the same time, the water cannons are turned on people when they're claiming that they have no hand, act or part or say in what's going on in their locations, and they'll turn against ordinary people. Of course, tie this in with the push to get the cameras all around the city, and of course this has been pushed by who? Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, who are driving this agenda again, and the government parties and the establishment who are pushing this through as well. It's just remarkable. Let me know what you think in the comments of what's going on, and in the context of what's going on up the north as well. I did a video yesterday on that, and that's still continuing as I speak in terms of people have had enough. But of course the political response isn't to deal with the underlying issue, is to the politics of condemnation will be always the politics that they'll always throw down people's throat, to preach, smear and speak down to working class communities rather than listen and engage, and more than listen and engage, that the people should have a say in the policies that impact them in all of our communities right across our islands. So thanks for the support with my videos, really appreciate them, and please subscribe to my channel as well. So from Dublin, thanks so much, take care, Slán.